Good afternoon, lovely people. How are you doing today? I hope you're well. Yes, it's the afternoon. Bit of a late start today for one reason and another. And it's one of those weird days. It's kind of overcast outside. It's a bit damp. We had a sprinkle of rain this morning. The temperature's dropped a bit again. So it's a bit chilly, and I've got here and I'm in that sort of like a can't be bothered. We all get it, don't we? Literally a handful of days ago on the Sunday when I was down here, it was warm, it was sunny, there were folk around, I had a ton of energy. I didn't have time to stay here because I had other things to do. And now that I've got a bit of time, I feel like, I think it is just because it's a bit overcast, a bit damp. There's no one around. And I need to get stuck into some jobs. That's the bottom line. So what I'm hoping will happen today, and it happens so often, is that even though right now I'm a bit, do I have to? It'd be so much nicer to go home, curl under a pile of blankets and read a book. But I'm going to force myself. I'm going to at least force myself to start. And then what I'm hoping is that just the action of doing that, just by getting going a bit, will get me kind of in the zone and get the blood pumping a bit and get that whole kind of, get the my garden sap rising again. So I've missed nearly the entire month of February in the garden because of weather. I've got a couple of clear days now, so I'm going to try and make the most of them. At the moment, I'm going to be playing catch up, so some of the jobs, ideally I would have got them done a month, 2 months ago. They didn't happen. What am I going to do? Beat myself up? No, of course not. I'm just going to try and get stuck into them today. So I think, oh, my hair's all fallen down. I think the first job, let's go and get on with it now, is to get the last of my parsnips out of that bed. See whatever compost I can find, and at the very least get it covered with cardboard. The ground is really quite moist. We had a very wet February. Let's trap some of that moisture in under the cardboard so that, as we go into March, if we have drought again like we did last year, hopefully I can keep some of that moisture down there in readiness for the next crop to go in, which will be onions. But that's not going to happen until, come on, it's going to be muddy, I think, but let's go and get those last parsnips out. Oh, I think these are all going to be forked. They're all going to be little forkers. But, waste not, want not. There will be something on them. What I'll do with this lot today is, I'm not going to eat them all in one go. So I'll get them home, give them a scrub, a chop, and a freeze. I've turned one of my 3 freezers off already, and one of the remaining 2 has a chunk of space in it, so yeah, why not? And then it gives this bed just a little bit of fallow time. What did I say is going in here? Onions. So I haven't even had my onion sets delivered yet. Oh, sorry, worms. They won't be planted until about mid-April. Let the soil get a bit warmer first. So yeah, this ground will have maybe 7 weeks or so just to rest up a little bit. On the far side, it's the very dregs of my calendula harvest from last year. harvest both for the petals, for all my sort of body lotions, and then a few left in to harvest the seed. All I'll do today is just whip them all out, chop them up a bit, leave them on the surface, and then, like I said, I'll go and explore in the compost bin, brassica leaves, that sort of thing that's been dying back over the last few weeks, and get that lot on top as well. Well, that one, it's a little bit bulbous at the top, but yay for a nice straight one. But actually I'm hiding the truth, look, it did fork, but oh, that's a nice one, isn't it? Goody goody. Oh, the smell they release as I'm getting them out of the ground, it's just, oh, beautiful. Obviously, not many left now. It would have been even less if the weather had been a bit better in February. I would have had more out over this month. I just really didn't want to be digging them out in pouring rain. Ergonomics, bring the bucket to you, Vivi. What a tenacious one. And a couple of woodlands. It wanted to be long, I've snapped it off. Okay, well this is going to take a little while to get everything. Something else I want to show you. Hang on, I'm going to bring you in closer. Can you make this out, I wonder? Can you see this? Maybe if I show you against my card you can see. That is raspberry. This is raspberry. They've come from next door, so a couple of years ago, further down that way towards where you are, where it kept coming up, I buried some slates, old roof slates, down at the side of my bed in the hopes to stop it coming through. Well, what it's done is it's stopped them coming through there, but they've moved under the path a longer ways, and then boom, into my bed. So I think it's just one of these issues I'm just going to have to keep dealing with each year. Just pull out as much as I can. Wow, that's some... Yeah, I mean, unless I dig down about 3 feet, dig this whole bed down and dig up the path, I think I'm never going to be rid of it. And the best I can do, apart from rescue my parsnips, yeah, the best I can do is each year, I'll come on to this one now, is just go down as far as I can, get out as much as I can, and hopefully it's enough to sort of stunt it. Talking of stunted, look. Nouvelle cuisine, anyone? Yeah, hopefully it's enough to just stunt it each year, so that as it's coming up in this bed, it'll only be small while something is growing, like my onions. And then, yeah, each either autumn or spring, but now it's not quite spring. Just get out as much as I can again. Upla. Oh, I should be digging down, it's snapping off. Do as I say, not as I do. It's Bit of a pain in the backside, if I'm honest. Is that more of it? Oh, stop snapping it, Vivi. Oh yeah, my foot got tangled in the roots. Crikey. Right, okay. This is another one where I'm going to turn the camera off and just attack it. Sorry to any worms down there. Sorry guys, but I want this raspberry cane out. Oh my goodness, that was a tussle. Look at this, this is all from that one plant. That's about that piece, 2 feet long. I've been down about 2 feet, and that's the best I can do for now, I think. Yeah, really annoying. Okay, right, now I'm going to whiz around the garden, collect up any dead, dying brassica leaves, go to the compost bin, see what brassica leaves are in there, and get them spread on this now empty bed. I'm so slow today. I think I have my sort of winter stiff aching body. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get as much done today as I hoped, as I planned, but something is better than nothing. Oh, cardboard's over there. Someone pass me the cardboard, please. Oh. Gosh, it does feel like everything feels like a supreme effort today. I'm hoping it's just a bit of post-winter lack of fitness. I have to just build myself back up slowly. I say slowly. I've been here about 2 hours already. It's like hardly even one job done yet. Never mind. Never mind. No point killing ourselves. Oh, I can't even rip cardboard. Oh dear. Oh, nearly done. What's my next job? What's the next job? Oh, I was going to do my pot sign post. There's a bit of a mess at the shed there. I don't know if I've got space. We'll see. Alright, one more piece. Let me get this done. You can all go off and have a cup of tea or something. Oh, ow. I've got a barrel full of bricks I've nicked. Oh, that's what I want to do next, is move my horse poo. So the other day I was mentioning this horse poo delivery. Yay! It actually looks really quite well rotted. Yay! That means I can use it this year. It looks like we're hoping anyway to get, just pull out baling twine, horrible plastic baling twine. Yeah, it looks like we should be able to get another delivery soon, and possibly regularly-ish. The next lot apparently won't be so well rotted, so that's fine. I will simply use one of my compost bins, the big Dalek one, stash it in there, let it rot down, and then what I'm hoping is that by the autumn, it'll have March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, maybe have 8 months or so in that black Dalek bin, which will get quite warm, which will help it rot down. Come the autumn, it'll be well rotted enough for me to put on the beds as a winter dressing, and that's great because I wouldn't be planting into them until the following year anyway, so it can do some further decomposing over the winter, and it will go on to next year's squash beds. Squash are really, really greedy. I'm sure some of you will have had an accidental squash growing out of your compost heap, and you see how wonderfully they grow compared with the ones you've got in the rest of the garden maybe. So I want to give all them this lot of muck to one. It'll only do one squash bed. Excuse me, I don't really want to breathe this in. The other day when I was talking about it, I was saying I didn't want it here on my potato bed because the potatoes wouldn't like it. I don't know what I was on about. I was having a bit of a brain freeze. This bed is going to have the parsnips in it this year. They won't like a freshly manured bed. So parsnips and carrots, don't give them fresh manure in their beds. It's too rich for them. It could lead to forking. Yeah, they just don't appreciate it. The spuds, they would appreciate it, so long as it's well rotted. If it hasn't had that chance to really rot down, the problem with putting it on fresh is it can burn your plants. It's just too much. So yeah, if it's well rotted, the spuds would like it. However, I've only got enough for instance, either this spud bed or the squash bed. For me, the squash, that's my cash crop. That's my real banker, you know. If the potatoes failed, if I didn't get any, no matter, it wouldn't matter. And they're fairly cheap to buy in the shops. If my squash completely failed, I'd really be scuppered, because firstly, they're expensive to buy. Secondly, they're a real staple of my diet because they're so versatile, and I love them because they're so easy to store. Literally all I do is give them a clean off, leave them in the shed until it gets really, really cold, frosty sort of thing, bring them home, stick them under my bed for the winter. So yeah, chuffed to have this, and this is really now telling my body it needs to start remembering how to move again. Oh, just the other thing I was mentioning, I can't remember whether I did. We each paid, I think in the end it was £3.60 per barrow load, but actually after everyone had had their barrow loads, it worked out that that was too much, so I'm getting a refund, and I think it's going to work out, instead it was about £2.50, £3 a barrow. However, because everyone's barrows are different sizes, this is what I love about everyone on this site. It's like, how can we make sure this is really, really fair? So instead of doing it by the barrow load, because some people's barrows are massive, is when the delivery comes, it's going to be sort of spread out on a tarp and then quartered. So it's going to be in mounds, and you buy a mound. So that hopefully that's a fairer way of doing it. I'm sure it will be. So yeah, like I said, in a few days' time, I'm hoping to be getting, well, I hope it's going to be the equivalent of about, maybe even 4 barrow loads. I mean, I think I might leave it at that for the year, because, wonky me, because there is a cost involved. But I have got that little fund for compost and muck, so whatever I spend on muck, it just means I spend less on compost. But that's okay, because the beds that have got this on, they won't need any compost. Yay! Right, I think this is going to be heavy, isn't it? Come on, let's get pushing. Oh la la. Oh, straighten up. I never did get my driver's licence. So this bed last year had the horizontal squash in it, 2 beds of horizontal squash, and I think in the end I crammed about 6 in here. That's really greedy. In the autumn, when the plants were finished, literally all I did was chop up any of that foliage, organic matter. There were a few other bits of choppings from elsewhere in the garden, whatever it was, just chucked it on this bed, got it covered in cardboard. A lot of the cardboard has been eaten already by the worms, great. And now I'm just going to literally just tip this on the top, spread it out a bit. The straight on top of the cardboard and all this sort of organic matter detritus, because you know what? Just I can't speak. Honestly, I've got a proper brain fog going on today. I think it's the shock of making my body work. My body has spent a lot of time this winter sitting, sewing, drawing, writing, what have you. Yes, what I'm trying to say is all that crop and drop, any that's still left, any of the cardboard that's still left, all under this muck, it's all going to get incorporated into the soil at some point by the beautiful worms, we hope. So it looks like, maybe that's enough to do not quite another full barrow. I'll concentrate it on this end, because in the bed I'll have the 2 teepees for the climbing squash at either end, and in the middle I'll just have my salad leaves again. So I should have thought about this, shouldn't I? Where I've just dumped it in the middle, yeah, I'll push it to either side, because the salad leaves do not need gorgeous, rich, well rotted horse poop. Right, let's go and get the other lot. Oh, crikey. It's been a bit of a tough one. The light's going. You know though, right back at the beginning, and I was saying, it was like 4 hours ago, and I was saying how I'd arrived as from about not being in the mood. But if I get stuck in, it should get me in the mood. You know what? I am in the mood. I'm definitely in the mood. But I don't know, my body is really not happy today. Stiff, just, yeah, it's really painful. I've got to get home. I've got to do the walk home and all the stairs yet. Oh, so I'm hoping it's just a bit of winter bodyitis. Oh, who knows? Anyway, yeah, it's frustrating because having started, I am really in the mood today. But let's look on the good side. That's the parsnips out. That bed has been cleared. The remaining foliage in it was chopped and dropped. All the brassicas have had their rotting leaves taken off, shredded onto that bed, and it's now covered and tucked up. So hopefully the worms will enjoy a feast, and it will be like that for another 6-7 weeks or so. Great. The horse poo, I've moved it just about enough to give a bit of a covering to that one bed, and like I said, in a couple of days time hopefully I'm getting some more. If it's not rotted, it'll go in the Dalek. If it is rotted, on the beds. I've had a chance today as well just to have a little bit of a walk around to assess again where things are at. Bit of a tidy up, just a bit of a tidy up in the shed. So yeah, it's been productive. It's just, you know what, it is that adjustment time. I'm every year I'm making it, and this is not a pity party, by the way, but it's a case of I've been down here this afternoon a bit over 4 hours. The work I've actually done is probably tantamount to maybe an hour and a half. But it's like, do a bit, sit down, do a bit, sit down. So it is a little bit frustrating, but it's just about manageable. And I think, because today's been grotty on the old knees, so I think what I'm going to do, I've got a really good idea in my head of all the things I want to get done, both to catch up on what didn't happen in January and February, and what I would like to do in March anyway. So I'm just going to think about all the jobs. Do you know what I might do? I might make myself, I love a list, I do love a list. I think I'm going to make myself a list with 2 columns, and one column can be for quite physical on my feet jobs, and the other column can be jobs that I can do either sitting on my gardening stool or sitting right down on my bum on the ground. I'm always happy sitting with my bum on the ground. I'm earthed. Yeah, so if I make a list with those 2 columns, then I can make sure I can sort of alternate between the two jobs. So if I need to have a sit and a rest, rather than doing it outside the shed, doing nothing, I can do my sitting and resting, but in the garden whilst I'm still doing something else. Yes, that's a plan. Oh, I do love a list. So I've got a load of tidying up and clearing away to do, which I'm going to get on with now. We are light in the afternoons. I was going to say evening, it's not quite evening. We're light until, well, about 5:30. We're light enough to be in the garden still working. By about 6 o'clock, yeah, it's dark. But yeah, if we're getting to that, oh, I love it. We're getting to that time of year when, yeah, we can just eke a little bit more out of each day. Isn't that wonderful? And of course, our clocks will be changing soon. Fall back, spring forward. So 5:30 at the moment. That'll be 6:30. Love it. Yeah. I'm so glad I stuck it out today. It just shows, doesn't it, that more often than not, if you're not in the mood, give it a go anyway, because actually just doing it will hopefully get you in the mood. I feel really giddy and happy again to be here and to achieve literally any achievement at the moment with these wonky knees. It feels great. So yay, celebrate. All right, my lovelies. Well, the next time you see me, gosh, it's going to be into March, isn't it? So, yeah, the next time you see me, we'll have a tour of the garden. Actually, I might do the seed sowing first, but we'll have a tour of the garden quite soon. And by doing so, we can have a little chat as we go about all the different things that need to happen in March. Get that list making pad out with my 2 columns in. Brilliant. So until then, my lovelies, please take care. Stay safe. Look after yourselves. Whatever possibilities and chances you get for your garden, grab them with both hands. If you can't get outside to garden, maybe you can pop a few seeds in some soil indoors. Whatever you get up to it with joy if you possibly can. Cheerio, lovelies. See you soon.